damaging winds, large hail, and maybe an isolated tornadoes, flash flooding in multiple locations, fire hazard in the Great Basin, and again, smoke for the Midwest.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Pew. Today is August 2nd, 2025.
Starting with severe weather, we have a slight risk or a 2 out of 5 from the Eastern Rockies to the Texas Panhandle and a marginal risk in the southeast. And what this entails is we may see damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, more isolated for the southeast, and then we're also going to see large hail and maybe an isolated tornado for the Rockies as well. In terms of flash flooding, the Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk or a 2 out of 4 in 3 different locations: the southeast, Tennessee Valley, and Texas Panhandle. But I also want to mention there's going to be a lot of rainfall from North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. Starting with the Tennessee Valley in the southeast, we're going to see rainfall from 1 to 2 inches, and in isolated places up to 4 or more. And for the Texas Panhandle, we're going to see half an inch to 1.5 inches of rainfall. And from the Dakotas to Nebraska, we're going to see 1 to 2 inches and maybe 3 inches. For fire hazards, we have a critical risk or a 2 out of 3 in the Great Basin and an elevated risk around that. Okay, so time frame for severe weather for the Tennessee Valley and southeast, it looks like things are going to start around 17 to 18 Z, which is 1 to 2 Eastern time. For the Eastern Rockies, we're looking at 19 Z, and that's 1 p.m. Mountain time. And this will travel southeastward to the Texas Panhandle by 7 p.m. Central time. And from the Dakotas to Nebraska, you may see storms this afternoon and evening, but things are going to start ramping up around 8 p.m. Central time, and this will persist throughout the night, even into next morning by 11 a.m. Looking at 500 millibars or midway through the troposphere, we're going to have the same exact stories that we've seen the last few days. We're going to have a ridge in the Rockies, and embedded with that, we're going to have a shortwave trough that's going to travel from the Rockies to the Eastern Rockies into the Texas Panhandle. And what this entails is, one, we're going to have pretty good shear, which is going to tilt those updrafts and prolong those storms. And two, it's going to add vorticity or spin, and that's going to help with the upward motion. The other thing that this ridge is going to do is provide that residual moisture that we've seen for the past few days into the Eastern Rockies, which is going to help with those thunderstorm developments. And behind that, we're going to have really dry wind that's going to be coming in from the west coast into the Great Basin area. Looking at the surface, we're going to have a low pressure in Colorado that's going to be deepening, and this is going to do a lot of things for us. First, it's going to increase the surface winds in the Great Basin area to 20 to 25 miles per hour, which, in addition to the relative humidities being in the single digits, it's going to make it very easy for wildfires to spread. In addition to that, low pressures are counterclockwise flow, so it's going to bring in that warm, relatively dry air from the west into the Eastern Rockies, which is going to go downslope from the mountains and create a dry line, which is going to promote more surface lifts. And third, as this low deepens, it's going to increase the pressure gradient between the low in Colorado and the high pressure in the Midwest, and that's going to increase the southerly and southeasterly winds to bring in more warm, moist air into these areas. In terms of frontal boundaries, we're going to have a very impressive stationary front that goes all the way from the southeast to Texas and throughout the Eastern Rockies. And this boundary layer is going to provide constant surface lifts for all these areas, and that's why we may have